Welcome to Hong Kong Brief. The content of the briefing includes UK's Coller capital to move Hong Kong office to new skyscraper, the Henderson. Biden is looking beyond tariffs to keep Chinese smart cars out of the US. Goldman gives up space in Hong Kong tower amid office slump. New highs for Nikkei, Hong Kong limps to holiday break. The global tremors from China's real estate crisis are only just starting. UK's Coller capital to move Hong Kong office to new skyscraper, the Henderson. Bloomberg. Coller Capital, a UK investment firm, has signed a lease for office space at the Henderson, a new skyscraper in Hong Kong. The firm will occupy around 4,500 square feet of space in the building, which is set to officially open later this year. Other tenants at the Henderson include Christie's, Audemars Piguet, and Carlyle Group. The leasing of office space in Hong Kong comes as the city's commercial real estate market faces challenges, with high vacancy rates and falling rents. Biden is looking beyond tariffs to keep Chinese smart cars out of the US. Bloomberg. The Biden administration is said to be considering restrictions on imports of Chinese electric vehicles, EVs, and related components due to concerns about data security. The measures would apply to EVs and parts originating from China, regardless of where they are assembled, to prevent Chinese manufacturers from entering the US market via third countries. The administration is particularly concerned about the data collected by smart cars, as many vehicles are equipped with modems that connect them to the internet, making them potential targets for hacking. Goldman gives up space in Hong Kong tower amid office slump. Bloomberg. Goldman Sachs has reportedly given up some office space in Hong Kong as part of cost-saving measures. The investment bank is said to be relinquishing a floor in Lee Garden 3 in the Causeway Bay area. This move follows a trend among global banks to trim office space in Hong Kong as they cut staff and reduce costs. The city's commercial real estate market has been affected by a slump caused by the pandemic and rising interest rates, as well as a decrease in demand from international banks. Hong Kong's vacancy rate hit an unprecedented 16.4% at the end of 2023, according to CBRE data. The global tremors from China's real estate crisis are only just starting. Bloomberg. Chinese investors and creditors are putting their international real estate holdings up for sale in order to raise cash and help offload the risks of a falling market. This marks a turning point for the industry, which has been suffering from a deepening property crisis in China. The slump, triggered by borrowing cost hikes, has wiped over $1 trillion off office property values. The fact that so few assets have been sold means that appraisers are operating with limited recent data, making it difficult to ascertain the true extent of the damage. Furthermore, the market is concerned that the logjam could be hiding large, unrealized losses. However, a new batch of overseas assets acquired during a decade-long Chinese expansion spree are starting to hit the market as landlords and developers seek to raise cash to shore up their domestic operations. With motivated sellers, the market freeze could thaw, improving transparency and price discovery, said Tolu Alamutu, a credit analyst at Bloomberg Intelligence. China traders' eye triggers that threaten to push yuan past 7.20. Bloomberg. Pressure is being placed on the onshore yuan to weaken past the 7.20 per dollar level, a level that has not been breached since November. The next big volatility event for the yuan that could trigger such a breach could be the Bank of Japan's meeting this month, as well as Federal Reserve signaling of potential interest rate cuts. If the Chinese government allows the currency to cross the line, it would be seen as a signal that Beijing is stepping up efforts to stimulate China's economy. Shark Ninja creates a new fortune just as Chinese tycoons falter. Bloomberg. Wang Suning, also known as CJ, is worth $3.2 billion, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. Wang invented the world's first electric machine for making soy milk 3 decades ago and has expanded his empire into the US, where his company Shark Ninja produces vacuum cleaners, hair dryers, and fryers. He has benefited from listing his company in the US, and 95% of its $3.7 billion revenue in 2022 came from North America and Europe. Viasat's Guru Gaurapan sees good surprises from Inmarsat link up. Bloomberg. Viasat CEO Guru Gaurapan has said that the integration of satellite firm Inmarsat into the company has gone well. In an interview, Gaurapan said the deal was in the mid to large scale and had been the fastest integration he had worked on. Viasat acquired Inmarsat for $4 billion last year. The integration of the two companies has provided good surprises, according to Gaurapan. One example of this was Lufthansa joining Viasat's European aviation network, thanks to Inmarsat's existing relationship with the airline. Gaurapan said that, after the merger, Viasat became the market leader in in-flight connectivity and has no plans for further big acquisitions. Instead, the company is focused on organic growth and using the Inmarsat deal to scale up its in-flight connectivity. Wall Street gets seat at private credit table with Ardenac deal. Bloomberg. Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs have entered into a $5 billion financing contract with Ardenac Group, with the banks convincing the UK insurance broker to divert nearly half of a financing deal led by Ares Management to the broadly syndicated market. Ardenac aims to raise $2 billion through a sale of secured and unsecured bonds while receiving $3 billion through a private loan. The move comes after investment banks have been outperformed by the $1.7 trillion private credit market for the past 18 months. What China's persistent deflation means for the world. Bloomberg. China is struggling to combat deflation as prices in the country have fallen for 3 consecutive quarters. This poses a challenge for policymakers as they attempt to kickstart economic growth and address the country's debt crisis. The weak consumer spending power and real estate slump have dampened confidence and deterred people from making big purchases, leading to weak demand for goods. Manufacturing is particularly affected, with businesses having to reduce prices due to sluggish exports and low domestic demand. Cheaper prices may initially seem positive for consumers, but they may hold off from making purchases in the hope that prices will continue to fall. This could result in further economic deterioration and a downward spiral of deflation. Higher debt servicing costs caused by deflation can also make it harder for businesses to invest, further reducing demand and exacerbating deflation. Beijing has previously responded to deflation with monetary easing and fiscal stimulus measures, but may be reluctant to do so again due to concerns about adding to financial risks. Economists are calling for more aggressive policies to boost demand and end the slump in the property market. Microsoft-backed clean jet fuel startup fires up new CO2 converter. Bloomberg. Climate technology startup 12 has launched its commercial-scale carbon transformation unit, which will generate carbon credits for customers such as Microsoft and Shopify, as well as producing clean jet fuel for Alaska Air Group. The Berkeley-based firm uses electrolysis to transform captured carbon dioxide and water into useful products, such as synthetic gas. 12's electrochemical reactor technology allows it to produce fuel without taking up much space. The company expects prices to decrease as its technology scales up and eventually reach parity with traditional jet fuel, according to CEO Nicholas Flanders. A 99% bond wipeout hands hedge funds a harsh lesson on China. Bloomberg. China Evergrande's recent liquidation has highlighted the dangers of trying to bargain with China's Communist Party, according to Bloomberg. US and European hedge funds bought the company's bonds, which are now almost worthless and trading at just 1 cent on the dollar. The talks were plagued by endless micromanaging by unidentified government handlers, relayed to investors via a complicated network of channels, and resulted in months-long gaps in dialogue. This is a first-hand education in how much the Chinese government will intervene for political and economic expediency. The 1 cent on the dollar price sends a warning to investors as other Chinese companies face default amid an economic slump that officials have struggled to fix. The disregard for foreign creditors almost certainly means more will get sold for parts, says Bloomberg. She can't use 2015 playbook to calm China markets, investors say. Bloomberg. China's efforts to arrest a $7 trillion stock market rout are evoking memories from 2015, when Beijing took drastic steps to stem a crash. This time, investors say, the problems are much more entrenched. Authorities have snapped into crisis mode to support China's tumbling markets, taking aim at short sellers and freeing up cash for banks, while state funds are boosting purchases. Signaling the growing alarm, China abruptly ousted its market chief Yi Huiman on Wednesday, rolling out another hallmark of the near-decade-old blueprint to boost stocks. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.